Professor Smart Sarpong is a political analyst. He's been watching how this has been playing out in the NPP in the last couple of days. I mean, beyond this call by Dr. Brian Echampo, and here as well, Comrade Japan clearly distancing himself from that politics of divisiveness that he talks about. Has there been enough done to address this issue that is creeping its head within the party ahead of this crucial election?
Yeah, a very good evening to your good self and good evening to our cherished viewers. I do not see much having been done. I do expect the personalities to lead in what we all want to see being done in respect of they walking their talk. So when they meet party people where no one is there, this unity call, I'm sure, is not what they preach there. And they should be minded that nowadays, in this new era, people will be recording you. I'm not sure they would ever call meeting of party people and ask everybody to take his phone away or so. So they should be mindful that whatever you say, wherever you say it, people will be listening to you, recording you, and it may come out. So let us demand of them the action, not the talk, the general call for unity and all these things. And then you turn around and people are smearing each other in an internal contest. I know why they are doing that. You know, for the NDC and the MPP, there are things at stake, unlike other political parties, with all due respect. With the MPP and the NDC, if you try hard and you become the flag bearer, at least your chances of winning an election is quite significant. And so they may want to compete to lead. So the flag bearership elections of the NDC and the MPP are expected to be a little heated with something at stake. But it should be a contest of ideas as they all come out of their secret smearing campaign and come and tell us in public that it should be an issue-based campaign. They should do that in action and not just in words when they come out of where they go to smear each other.
Were you expecting any whips to be cracked in the last couple of days?
They are now submitting their forms. Hopefully by close of this week, if not all, perhaps most of them would have submitted their forms. I don't know the deadline actually, but I'm sure after the deadline, when they are called into a meeting, some of these things are going to feature prominently in the vetting that they may be going through. And right after vetting, if they go out there to do the real constituency campaign, we wish to see that they would have listened to their leaders and would have changed into more of issue-based. You know, one thing they don't know is that if there is any campaign that seeks to smear one person or direct its attention target towards one person, you rather tend to popularize or make that person a very, very, very important person in that contest. So I don't know who is coaching them, but politically, if Brian is targeting Bawumia and Ken is targeting Bawumia and this one is targeting Bawumia and everybody is targeting one particular person, you rather end up making that person the most important person. Delegates will be turning their attention towards him, trying to find out what is it with this man that everybody is coming at him, especially if the government of your smear is not too much of a criminality, or how does one become a victim for being an Akan or an Efanti or whatever? How? You and I were not there when we were being sent into this world. You got up one day and you were told you were born to a father called Okansi, and that is how you belong. It's natural. Nobody gets credited by smearing the other, especially on grounds that are not of a dubious nature. So they should desist from all those things. Religion is nobody's making. It is a matter of faith. Where you come from and all those things, too trivial, and only gives them a divisive profit. They should desist from it. Stick to the issues. We want to lead the MPP, and if by God's grace he becomes the president, lead the republic. Issues of the republic that the party can address should feature in their campaigns. Issues within their own party, the division, the rebuilding, the recapturing and all those things should be part of their campaign and not individual attacks as we see them do. We expect the leaders to talk to them, especially during the vetting or after the vetting, and let's see whether they will change from it.
Right.
Yes, there is something at stake, but you need to still do a clean campaign.
And Prof, before I let you go, there's another development as well within the NPP, because there's an attempt now to expand the electoral college of the party. This is what was the case until today. These were the persons who were eligible to partake in the election of a presidential candidate. All members of the National Council, all voting members of the National Executive Committee, all voting members of the Regional Executive Committees, and all voting members of the Constituency Executive Committees as well. Then you had all electoral area coordinators, the 5 polling station executive officers in each polling station, 15 members of the National Council of Elders to be elected from amongst themselves, 15 patrons to be elected from among themselves, all party members of parliament, past national officers, 3 representatives of each of the special organs of the party. Then you have 12 delegates from every external branch, founding members who are signatories to the registration documents of the party at the Electoral Commission, 1 TESCOM representative from each recognized tertiary institution. Then you have all party card-bearing ministers and deputy ministers and all MMDCs. Now, the party has issued a statement, Prof Smart Sarpong, indicating that beyond this group of persons, they are also now adding another group of persons who would now be eligible to partake in this process of election of the flag bearer. All former regional executives will now have the power to elect. All former constituency executives are now part of the delegates. All members of the National Council of Elders, 30 members of the National Council of Patrons. Previously, it was 15. All former party card-bearing members of parliament. All former party card-bearing parliamentary candidates. So you see, it is interesting. And all past national officers, all external branch executives, all former external branch executives, and TESCON president from each recognized tertiary institution. Previously, it was limited. And we see the national TESCON coordinator, all regional TESCON coordinators are also now having voting rights. 1 TESCON patron from each recognized institution, all former party card-bearing ministers and deputy ministers, all former party card-bearing MMDCs, 10 members from each regional council of elders, 10 patrons from each region, 5 members of each constituency council of elders, 5 patrons from each constituency. This is a large group now we're seeing now. And they are supposed to also register to qualify as delegates. How does this development strike you?
Well, they agreed during their conference to expand, and this is one of the effect of the outcome of the conference they attended at Legon Sports Stadium. I think these ones are highly identifiable people, and I do not expect chaos to erupt in this registration exercise they have published. Where I suspect some 1 or 2 hitches may come will be item, I think 17, 18, 19, where 10 members from each regional council of elders, assuming they are more than 10, 20, what is going to constitute the criteria of selecting those 10? 10 patrons from each region, assuming they are more than 10. What is going to constitute the criteria for the selection or the inclusion of those 10? 5 members of each constituency council of elders, assuming there are more than 5. I don't know the dynamics, but I think with the exception of 16, 17, 18, 19, the rest are identifiable people. In the TESCON, what is going to become is that if the elections were quite smooth, it's going to be now extremely intense because students are going to have voting rights and it's going to form part of the basis for the competition and all those things. But I mean, these are highly identifiable people with the exception of 16, 17, 18, 19, where some criteria will have to be put in place to select those 10, 10, 5, and 5. But I'm sure the committee in charge would guide the process, and then the regional, the constituency, wherever these elections are going to be done, they'll be mindful of the fact that they need to help their own party rebuild so they can come up in 2028 stronger, and they will do it peacefully. We do not want these things to bring further chaos or division in the party.
For joining us, is a